Prices, yes. Prices are not going down. They're going down in the markets. The price of cotton is down. The price of copper is down. But that's because of forced liquidation. There's this gigantic forced liquidation which is taking place. It's a historic period. It's only happened 8 or 9 times in the past 100, 150 years, but it's happening again. And those price decreases are temporary as far as I can see. You have governments all over the world printing gigantic amounts of money and spending gigantic amounts of money. I mean, we all know that throughout history that has led to rampant inflation down the road. Now, maybe it's different this time. I don't believe it's different this time, but this has always led to higher prices, and it will again.
And, of course, this is very politically destabilizing, as we know, whether we look at Weimar or other times when governments have printed these amounts of new currency. It's not only economically a problem, but it can wreck the whole of society. It brings about almost a decivilizational process. So it's quite a frightening thing.
Well, I think it was Lenin who said once upon a time, a long time ago, that the best way to destabilize a country is to have inflation, because nobody understands it and is invidious, and by the time everybody figures out what's going on, you've already wrecked the society. And of course, the communists were very interested in wrecking societies because then they could take them over. I'm not suggesting this is a plot by Lenin by any stretch of the imagination, but I'm just confirming your point that yes, it's a very destabilizing and dangerous thing when inflation gets out of control. We've all seen it happen many times in history. You mentioned Weimar. Well, Weimar's not the only country that had huge problems because of inflation. It's happened all the time. Not all the time, but every time it's happened, it's caused problems, and it will again.
Jim, if somebody has money, they didn't get involved in the crazy mortgages or crazy investments in the credit market, what should they do today? What would you tell the person who shares our views about what is ahead for the economy? What do they do with their money, whatever money they've got left?
Well, first they should be very careful, and they should only invest in things they know about. They shouldn't listen to some guy they hear on the radio or on the computer or on the TV. They should only invest in what they know. I'll tell you what I'm doing. It's what people can maybe think about doing, but I have been short a lot, and I covered a lot of my shorts in the stock market in October. The things I started buying were China, Taiwan, commodities, and the Japanese yen. In history, Lou, the way you make money coming out of periods like this is you find the things where the fundamentals have been unimpaired. The only things I know where the fundamentals have been unimpaired or, in fact, improved are commodities. Farmers cannot even get loans to buy fertilizer now. Nobody can get a loan to open a zinc mine. So the supply of everything is going to continue to decline, which is going to put pressure on prices going down the road. And, of course, you have governments printing huge amounts of money. That has always led to price increases of real assets. So for the fundamental basis, I'm buying commodities. Supply and demand are way out of whack. And then, of course, there's this icing on the cake that the governments are printing a lot of money. In my view, that's about the only way I know we're going to all make a lot of money in the future. The American dollar is going to come under more pressure down the road. It's going up at the moment because there's this forced liquidation of all positions. We've had huge short positions in the dollar. Now everybody's having to reverse those positions and cover their dollar shorts. Well, somewhere in the next year or two, that's going to end, and the dollar is going to start collapsing again. So I would urge people to learn about investing abroad, learn about opening foreign bank accounts, foreign brokerage accounts. Is perfectly legal, at least at the moment it's perfectly legal in America, as long as you report it, of course. And I would urge people to start learning about what the rest of the world and hard assets and real assets and some of the opportunities that may exist abroad.
What about gold?
Well, I own some gold. I think I'm going to first I should tell you I'm the world's worst market timer, Lou. I'm not very good at trading, short-term trading. But I own some gold. If gold goes down, I'm going to buy some more. If it goes up, I'm going to buy some more. I think I'm going to make more money in agriculture or some of the other real assets in the medium term or near term, but I own them all. You
once pointed out that in the future, it may be the farmers who are going to be driving the Maseratis rather than the 29-year-old traders on Wall Street.
Absolutely. There's a shortage of farmers developing in the world, Lou. Everybody listening to you got a sound education. Well, most of the people who were in school with us became financiers or lawyers or journalists or something. Very few of them became farmers. Farmers have been a horrible business for the last 30 years. We have a shortage of farmers developing right now. You can, the number of acres devoted to wheat farming, for instance, has been in decline for 30 years. You can ride around Japan and you will see huge stretches of farmland just empty because all the farmers are too old and the kids have moved away. The Japanese really do not like foreigners, and they really, really do not like Chinese foreigners, but things are so bad in Japan that they are bringing in Chinese farmers to farm the fields in Japan because there are no farmers. Well, this is happening all over the world. The world's going to change. We've had many periods in history when agriculture or producers of real assets have been the successful and rich people. That's about to happen again.
Jim, you're a student of Austrian economics and of the free market, libertarianism. What books would you suggest that people read these days?
Oh, Lew, I'm going to turn them over to the Van Mises Institute to get the books because you know the books better than I do.
Jim Rogers, you're a hero. Every time that we hear you on television, I'm sure everybody listening to this podcast cheers, and it's an honor to have you on the show.
Well, I am flattered. I'm very flattered. I'm an admirer of what you all are doing, and I hope you keep up the good work.
Jim, thank you.
Thank you.
You've been listening to The Lew Rockwell Show, produced by LewRockwell.com, the best-read libertarian website in the world. If you'd like to advertise on this podcast or on the website, email advertise@LewRockwell.com. And thanks for listening.